Let's talk property, bringing everybody in the property industry together, giving you guys education, networking, gems, tips, the latest breaking news in the property world. We have been super happy with the amount of people that keep turning up month in, month out. Every single event has sold out. Now it's time to go to Leeds. 3 guest speakers, an incredible night, super educational, super network. Get your ticket now because they don't last long. How was the relationship with the saucer?
So when it got sent to us, we were like, yeah, it's big, but we can do it. And obviously, the numbers worked.
Your profit last month? I don't know if you want to say it.
No, I don't mind. Yeah.
Tell me the cost, the outlay to get this ready, as in your sourcing fee, all the insurances you've got, the setup cost. What's your total outlay before you even got this on Airbnb? Will I be doing service accommodation in the future? So, guys, rent to rent, service accommodation, you know how I used to feel about this strategy. After going around to a number of people, is my mind being changed? First question to ask these 2 lovely people is, how did you secure this property?
So we actually got this property sourced. So we both work part-time, we've both got young families, and for us, we knew that we weren't able to give like loads of time to this business initially. So we did some research with some sourcers, picked who we wanted to go with, and a couple of months, I think it was, Kat,
Yeah, about 2 months, yeah.
This property got presented to us, and Kat lives not far from here, so for our first one, we thought it was great, and we did all the numbers and did a lot of market research, didn't we? And yeah, here we are.
What was the sourcing fee?
£3,000.
Okay, and how did you find the sourcer so you knew that was reliable?
So for us, I think the main thing that we did, we spoke to a lot of people.
Word of mouth,
So
wasn't it?
yeah, we didn't just go with any random person off the street. We spoke to a lot of people. We did a lot of sort of research around that area, didn't we? Because
Yeah.
you do hear some things, don't you, about sourcers. And our mentor as well, she was very much of the opinion, wasn't she, like you, there's a lot of dodgy ones and a few, only a few really good ones. So I think with that, we just made sure we really
spoke to a few of the people that have used those sources as well, and just
what their
wanting
experience
to
was.
check, their experience was what it was,
Okay.
what they said it was.
So how did you break down the numbers and do the due diligence on this so you knew it worked?
So there's several things you can do.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we spoke to management companies that operate in the area. So we sort of checked with them how properties that are similar, how they're occupied. You can look at comparables, can't you?
So go on, obviously Airbnb, booking.com, look at comparables for like the size. Obviously this is a big property and there's a lot of 2-3 beds, but we went on their nightly rates, looked at their calendars and obviously compared the 2, and then obviously we checked our numbers for what we pay for rent, checked the bills for the area, and then obviously went from there.
How many bedrooms? Well, how many does this sleep?
8.
Is that something that you was advised to do to start with, one so big, or is it something that you guys just thought this is right for us?
No, we just thought it was right, didn't we? We got sent quite a few properties before this one, but we were quite fussy with particular things that we wanted, like parking and stuff like that, and obviously location-wise. So when it got sent to us, we were like, yeah, it's big, but we can do it, and obviously the numbers worked. At the end of the day, the numbers work. So
okay. That's the key, isn't it?
Yeah,
the numbers
100%,
working.
yeah.
It's super important. Did you meet the owner of this property?
We haven't actually ever met her.
Probably never
No.
will. No.
And I probably wouldn't recommend that, to be honest. But
No,
we've
okay.
spoke to her a few times. She's
Yeah.
a busy lady. She's got
She
several
literally lives over the
properties.
road there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just never met her.
Yeah, we spoke to her, and the sourcer was obviously
so chilled,
had
isn't
met
she?
her and said great things about her. She actually owns a few properties on this road, and everyone speaks highly of her. So
Okay.
you know.
How was the relationship with the sourcer? Was that something was it just a straightforward transaction, or did you build a relationship with the sourcer?
So our original sourcer, it was a co-deal source that got this. So we spent more time with the co-deal sourcers than the actual sourcer.
Okay.
Which we've met. They go to your events.
Yeah.
So we've met them a few times. They were really lovely. They met us here. Obviously on the day we got the keys, bought us flowers, all that kind of thing.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it was a nice transaction, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we keep in touch
amazing.
with them and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it all went to plan.
Good guys.
Do you
Yeah.
still speak to them now?
Yeah.
And you're on to another one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
That's
it's not-
actually with different sourcer.
Is that sourced as well?
Yeah, that's
all.
sources
Rent
are,
to rent
yeah.
for us probably, unless we get some. Obviously, we're starting to get people approach us, aren't we now?
Yeah.
Family members
With properties
and just
and
people.
Oh,
What
offering
we've
you
done.
properties.
Yeah, offering us like rent to rent deals and stuff.
Okay, but the second one isn't anywhere near here, is it?
No.
That's in Hove, Brighton.
Yeah.
Which is a 3-hour drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why Brighton? Is it just because of you can see how busy it is, or what was it?
Yeah, we've done our due diligence on a few areas. So when we went to these sources, obviously we handpicked areas that we want properties in. Brighton being one of them, just because we've done our research on the area, the amount of like tourists they get. Obviously, the calendars look really good, nightly rates. It all kind of
All year
works.
round as
yeah,
well,
all year
don't they?
round kind
Yeah.
of guests and stuff. So Hove, obviously, you have to go and do the initial setup, which we've been doing for the last week and a half. But if you're systemised right, then you haven't really got to go back.
Okay.
So when it's all set up,
Yeah.
then obviously the cleaners, we've got a cleaner down there that's already in place, ready to go, handyman, and then obviously we're on the end
Different
of the
trades
phone.
if needed. Yeah. So as long as you've got the right team around you, I think, and you've got everything set up in terms of we have a ring doorbell, the sound monitoring machine in the property.
That sound monitoring machine
yeah.
is something that you told us about today.
Yeah.
It's that thing up
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
You said it picks up on mobile phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you see that? Is that on a video somewhere? Did you watch it? How did you know about that?
We got told by our mentor, to be
Okay.
honest,
Yeah.
about that, didn't we? She,
Yeah, we
like,
did, yeah.
that's what we do in our properties. It's a bit of a must. She had a few properties in more party areas,
Yes.
and then that was sort of a way to try and obviously stop that from happening.
So is your mentor someone who does rent to rent?
Yeah.
That's their main strategy?
No,
They do. No, they
not-
do.
She does everything.
Yeah, everything,
Yeah.
commercial to residential.
Oh, okay.
VRRs,
So she's
everything.
quite big.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
actually stopping her sort of rent to SA sort of company. She's dwindling it out, should I say?
Because she's on to the next
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
Next,
she's
next stage. Yeah.
bigger things, if you like. And yeah, so she basically, that's how we got the investor, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Which we've secured for several units. Sort of.
Yeah,
coming
let's
up
talk about
probably.
investors. So,
Yeah.
first and foremost, this one.
Yeah.
Tell me the cost, the outlay to get this ready, as in your sourcing fee, all the insurances you've got, the setup costs. What's your total outlay before you even got this on Airbnb?
So before we even got it on Airbnb, we literally, it was just over £15,000.
Just over.
Yeah, for like the rent, deposit, everything.
Kitting it out, as you see, the furniture, we bought it all. We did all our bargain hunting. And yeah.
Based on your predictions, how long does it take you to break even?
11 months? 10,
Yeah.
11 months? isn't
Yeah,
At what occupancy?
it? 70%.
70%.
Okay, so as long as you hit 70% occupancy for 11 months, you will break even.
Yeah.
Which we will, yeah.
Okay, of course you will. That's the confidence you need to have. And what's the contract term?
5 years.
5 years with a 12-month break clause.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
always recommend when you
Break
do your
clauses.
numbers, have that break clause after
You've broke even.
you've broke even, because you don't want to be able to.
So if it's
do the
stressful
party.
and it wasn't something you enjoyed doing, you break even and you can stop it and pull out, and then no one's at a loss.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same for the landlord. Obviously, you've got to be fair for the landlord as well.
Yeah.
So they've obviously can do the same if it's not working for them.
Okay.
Hence why
So
you
you need to make sure that you don't put too much on social media before the 12-month break clause, because they'll hold you to ransom. If you're doing amazing things and amazing money.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we talk about we talked about the Brighton one, and you said you got an investor. Okay. Explain how investing works in the rent-to-rent world.
Okay, so we were actually, I think we had a call with our mentor, didn't we? Or did she put something in one of the groups? I can't remember how it came about, but she said, I've had an investor approach me about, she wants to get into rent to SA but be hands off because she's a busy lady. She's got the capital there ready to go, and she basically put it out to her, well, us, didn't she?
Mentees. Wasn't it?
And we basically jumped on it. We were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be amazing. So we obviously spoke with the investor, back and forth for a bit, because, you know...
It was funny, actually, sorry, just to interrupt. It was funny because we didn't really think we were going to go down the rent-to-rent just before this, did we?
No, we didn't,
My dad is another little investor for us. And so we've got this one with our dad. However, we were a bit like, we wanted to go more like BRR, social housing, that kind of thing.
Fair,
So when this was put out, we were like, shall we do rent to rent? Because obviously this investing is obviously a bit of a no-brainer. It's obviously good monthly income for us to then obviously push it forward to do like BRR and obviously our things that we want to do eventually. So when it came out, we were a bit like, oh God, shall we not do it?
Yeah,
and then
it wasn't our plan,
No,
so
it wasn't our
plan.
That
actually
switched
changed
a little bit.
Wow. Okay. So if an investor gives you money, is it on a fixed return monthly, or is it, how does it work?
So it depends from, you know, what the arrangement you have with the investor. Obviously, it's different for the arrangement we've got with our dad compared to
Of course,
the investor.
Dad doesn't really need paying back.
Exactly. So the investor that we've got, we basically we have said that if we use a sourcer, then we will pay the sourcing fee.
Okay.
Because that's, you know, that's
we're
on
not
us,
going out to
having the
find
initial.
ourselves,
And then from that, she will put everything else into the, you know, the property, the unit, and then it's a 50-50 split of the profit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she puts all the deposit in, obviously furnishing costs, everything like that, and then we literally half.
And
we're
doing the work, aren't we? So
So is it half the profit for the duration of the contract, or is it for a year or two?
Each monthly, so literally for the duration of the contract.
split the profit.
Yeah.
So you can really scale this to a whole nother level, because if you spent 15,000 on this one, which you guys have gone above and beyond, because I've had a tour around it and it's incredible.
Thank you.
You're looking at about 10,000 usually, isn't it, if someone's not going to the level that you're going to?
Yeah, and it's a big property, isn't it? Let's
It's
face
huge
it,
property.
it's big. And for our first one, some people probably look at it and be like, yeah,
It is a bit scary, but you have just got to go for it, haven't you? At the end
Well,
of the day.
your profit last month, I don't know if you
our
want to say
profit
it.
no, I don't
No, I
mind.
don't mind.
Yeah.
Our profit last month we were just over 70% occupied, but to be fair, we haven't really pushed it much in terms of
We
marketing.
only went live the middle of May.
So we made just over 1,400.
That's
Profit.
70% profit.
After all bills are paid,
Yeah,
everything's sorted.
Yeah.
All commission for OTAs.
Wow.
Everything, bills, the lot.
So from this property at 70% occupancy, you clear about 17 to 20,000 pound a year
Yeah.
profit.
And that, to be fair, that figure was a bit lower than what it would be going forward
learnt
as
a lot,
well.
haven't we?
We've learned a lot. We've had a few boo-boos along the way.
Okay.
Where we've learned it with it being our first one. With setting the nightly rate as well, and how the OTAs work out in terms of the commission, because they're all slightly different.
What's an OTA?
Sorry, online travel agents. So your
Yeah,
Airbnb,
Some people don't know.
your Booking.com, etc.
What percentage do they take?
Around 15%.
15% roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there a system in place that changes the prices accordingly to each night?
You can have. There's something called like a price lab. There's mixed things that go on. That's said about.
We
that,
do
to
that
be
ourselves,
fair.
don't we?
We like to just
we
do it
like to
ourselves.
just do
Oh,
it
you do?
ourselves.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't have that system in place. We just like to mess around with the.
Okay, so
figures
do you look at
ourselves.
what others are doing and then
Yeah,
price
look
yourself
at-
accordingly?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at different events that are in the area.
Yeah.
Like a little.
So you're on it properly. You
Yeah.
understand it correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you've got to make it successful.
Well, if you're making that kind of money, what you've just said, even if you make £15,000 a year from one, common sense tells you if you've got 5, 6, 7 and you place them accordingly, it's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, I was never a massive fan of rent-to-rent
we
service
know.
accommodation.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of serviced accommodation.
Yeah.
but I'm not a fan of the rent-to-rent part. That's all. I'd like to own the assets and then. But the service accommodation industry is just thriving.
Yeah, it's massive.
It is huge. And we had a conversation off camera with Tom, COO, and people like to stay in places like this now. People don't like hotels anymore because it's the feel. And you mentioned children as well. Having children, when you put them to bed, being able to move around and stuff. It's not a hotel room.
No, exactly. Yeah, and that's what people want now, isn't it? They want that more like luxury kind of living, don't they?
Yeah, and this is definitely
And
luxury.
space.
The way you've put the space in here is incredible.
Yeah.
So what's the future hold for you two then? Is it going to be rent to rent for the next 12, 24 months or?
No, so obviously we've got this investor. She will probably want about 6 to 8 units, obviously depending on how big they are and setup costs and everything. So we're going to fulfil that first and obviously try and get them up and running. Obviously Hove being the first one with her. And then, we want to move forward and get some BRRs, don't we? And
build our own
HMOs
portfolio,
and build
which is what we were going to do initially until this investor came about.
So the cash flow from this as well though, if you've got 5 or 6 or 7 being done with another investor, that gives you cash to be able to go into your BRR.
We're just going to reinvest it all,
Is it building a portfolio or is it building the cash?
That we want?
Yes.
Both.
Both? Okay. What is it you want? What is it out of life you want?
Just
Security.
Money. It's the kids, isn't it? At the end of the day. Obviously we want a good life for us, holidays, all the house, car, that kind of thing. But obviously it's longevity and having it there ready for the kids so they haven't got to do what we've had to do.
Okay. So how do investors contact you? How do you get people? What's your Instagrams? What's your emails? Is there
Instagram,
websites?
website. We've got a investor page on the website. So they can put all the details in there and then they get some cool little calculator sent to them that works out what they'll get back for percent and stuff like that. So that's csisterproperties.co.uk and Instagram is also csisterproperties as well. And LinkedIn,
All of that will be in the descriptions as well. It'll be all throughout this video so you guys can see. So, very impressed. You've got my mind ticking. Thank you for having us down. Massively appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
No, you're welcome. Guys, there you have it. Will I be doing service accommodation in the future? Find out next week.